Hi, I'm Melanie from Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is Adventures in Groceryland. This is Newbie Container Gardening Update, October the 1st. We are far into our growing season now. We have cleaned up, I'm going to say, at least 50% of the plants. So they are done, no more producing, and we've actually disposed of them into our compost. But we still have things growing now. We have tomatoes, potatoes, some zucchini started again. We have cabbage and Brussels sprouts. We do still have jalapenos. We have more things growing than what I thought we would at the beginning of August. Check it out and you will be able to see that I have processed some of our garden bounty into salsa. Yay! Lots of red in here. I'm going to bring a lot of these into the house. It's soon going to be salsa time. Woo! Crazy thing. Remember those beefsteak tomatoes? I have 6 plants that never did anything. Well, check this out. Now, finally, middle of September, we are getting tomatoes. There's more over here as well. Just crazy. Very, very crazy. Yep, down in here too. More. Yeah. Let's get more picking, harvesting done. Oh yeah, these ones are looking good. Onions are doing great. Cabbages, everything's looking good. Pumpkins are not really getting any bigger. Yeah, they're probably just going to end up as decorations, but like I said before, we've never had any success with pumpkins ever, so 3 little pumpkins are the best we've ever done before. Little assortment here. These 2, you can see the difference in the color. These 2 I brought in the house a couple days ago, so they have been ripening in the window. Now it's time for these 5 to ripen in the window, and these ones are ripe when they are yellow and purple. These broccolis never really amounted to much, so we are doing some garden cleanup, and they didn't make the cut. I don't know. Maybe that one might come back. I don't really know. And we've already harvested the 1 eggplant off of this, so this is going now. I've already completed quite a cleanup over here on the pumpkins. So we had 3 grow bags, and there was a couple pumpkins in each one. What we did is we followed the strands that actually had a pumpkin, and we cleared out everything else. Even though there's lots of flowers, the reality is it's mid-September, and even if they got pollinated now, there's not enough grow time for them to harvest before first frost. So we're just concentrating, cleaned up the vines, and these guys got a big dose of coffee grinds this morning, my whole container. The cabbage are still doing well. Like, this has a cabbage head. Starting. Not yet. Neither of these 2 yet. But there's no reason why we can't leave these here. They're not harming anything. I think of them as a cold weather plant anyways. So yeah, these are definitely staying. As the summer progresses, and we are into fall, not yet, not technically, but we're into September, the sun changes. And so this is where we used to have the tomatoes. It is lunchtime now, and there was no sun here all morning. So we have changed slightly the location. So we're now over here. I have cleaned up everything. So we have the 5 beefsteak here. I cleaned up all of the dead leaves, cleaned up everything. They are getting tomatoes. They're all getting tomatoes. There's tomatoes on every plant. But the interesting thing is that they still have flowers. And while I was doing this cleanup, there were actually bumblebees around the plants trying to get to the pollen. So there is absolutely no reason why I couldn't clean these up and see what will happen. These two are the pear tomatoes. I've got them together, and these are indeterminate plants. All my plants, I'm tempted to say the Romas are determinate, but I actually think they're not. So I believe all my plants are indeterminate, and that means that there's no set end to the growth of the plant. They have longer growing season, but you see here how these long looping around, they just keep growing up higher and higher and higher and higher as the season goes on. And I mean, a tomato cage is only so high, and unless we are going to build some kind of a frame to help with this. So what I have done is, you can see, like, I have laid the plants over top of the neighboring cage. So like this one is coming over here, so that will help to support it. So these are the yellow pear. Same with these. These are the indigo sun. So they are ripe to harvest when, like you can already see, these are purple on the top but green on the bottom. So when they turn yellow on the bottom like the sun, that is when they are time to harvest. But you can see these are an indeterminate as well. Like, these are just keep growing and growing, and they are drooping over the edge. And then here are the Romas, and this is where I have really heavily relied on the plant tomato cages beside to support. So you can see, like, I've got just a lot of cross. And then this one from here over to here, I really cleaned these up. We're in a better, sunnier area. And these will continue to ripen. And the interesting thing about these ones as well, they also have flowers. They are continuing to flower, and we are still getting new. So, I mean, there's really no harm in leaving them here. We need to water them and pinch off the dead leaves. I've got the Swiss chard up on the table right now, and I'm going to clean it up a bit. And now that we don't have quite so many plants, I'll be able to focus on things like this a little better and hopefully coax it into better. These crazy jalapenos still producing. Like, I am seriously going to try to save some of these plants. Even the little burrito peppers are going again. We pulled all of the green peppers up here. We have one growing here. There's another one growing over there. So we'll see how these manage. And someone wanted to know if I was going to try to save these over the winter, and I'm not sure. For sure some of the jalapenos. And then I don't really think we're going to get any Brussels sprouts. I don't know. How long do you wait before these actually are something? Because we've never had these purple zebra tomatoes before, I'm a little uncertain of when to pick them. So I Googled them. They are going to get, you can see the very faint starts of that here. They are going to get stripes that run from the top to the bottom, and that's where the striping comes in. So they're not quite ready yet, but they will be. These are messy. They haven't really survived the harsh weather that well. We haven't really been taking great care of them. However, look at all the flowers. So again, there's no harm in them being here. We'll see what we can make of them. We've cleaned out the cucumbers. The ladder planter is going to go into storage, so we won't leave it in front of the deck all winter long, and we'll put it back up next year. We removed the second vine from this zucchini. We still have a zucchini on here, so we are babying that. Squash are still here. We need to give that some attention today, but what I noticed is we are getting another zucchini on one of the other plants. So yeah, we'll definitely see where we go with this. This plant has an eggplant. We're not quite ready to harvest yet. And this third plant is getting one right there. So we're definitely leaving this. Why not? More tomatoes to add to my stash. Here are some more of the items that we have harvested from the garden. So none of our squash really seemed to produce that big. I will be very surprised if we actually get anything out of those squash. But we learned some things. Squash is viable here, so we will try that again next year. More peppers, more tomatoes. The pepper plants and the tomato plants are still in. One more... Ooh, name is evading me right now. We've taken the plants out, so this is the final eggplant. There we go. I had to search for the word. We've taken out all of the cucumbers. We've taken out most of the zucchinis. There's still a zucchini growing on one plant. That is still out there. Onions are still in. Cabbage is still in. Squash is still in. Sorry, pumpkins are still in. And oh geez, I'm having trouble with my words this morning. The little mini cabbages that grow up the side of the stalks, Brussels sprouts, those are still in. We're pretty certain that we're really not going to get anything from them. But they are still growing, so we are still leaving them. Garden update. I am now going to start using the items that we got from our garden. The onions did not come from our garden, nor those red peppers, but everything else is going to be going in salsa. I feel very pleased. I love having this variety, this multicolor variety of tomatoes. There's Romas in there. These are the zebra, purple zebra. There is yellow pear. No, that's a indigo sun. There's yellow pear. You can see it's pear-shaped. Yellow pear. There's just even little cherry tomatoes. Just makes me really happy. These all came from us, from our garden. I ended up getting 6 liters and 1 250 milliliters. And then this little bit left over to sample. Okay, this is the moment of truth. Woo! Woo! Spicy! It's good. Very good. This recipe has brown sugar in it. So it's got that sweet taste, but it also has the jalapenos and the red pepper flakes and the cumin, all of the other things that make it spicy. Very good. So this was just quick information. The full salsa making video will be uploaded within the weekly video on Friday. You can check that out there. I don't think the pumpkins are going to get any bigger than this, but you can see they're starting now to turn orange in color. So decorations, but a success for our very first time that we were actually able to grow pumpkins. The green onions are doing well. Cabbages are really forming here. Very, very happy with this. This is looking so sporadic with no leaves on the tomato plants, but the tomatoes are still growing. We're definitely getting those beefsteak. Clusters of little ones. We harvested jalapenos, but there are still more growing. It's super windy today. And these are Brussels sprouts growing. I just don't know, like you can even see, like there's some big ones there. We just really don't know what the heck we're doing. And these are our succession planting potatoes. We do have potatoes coming. Ooh. Weirdly, we have more zucchinis starting to come here. Here we have 3 eggplants that are growing on. So there's 1, there's 2, and over here in the back there's 3. So we still have those growing, but other than that, so we've got tomatoes, zucchini, eggplant, and potatoes, and peppers still growing. I guess that's quite a bit. I feel like that we have had success with these random asparagus that we have planted. So I'm hoping next year will be a good year. And these are the walking onions. Walking Egyptian onions. Still trying to baby this Swiss chard. Thanks everybody so much for tuning in. You may see an occasional blurb of the garden within my regular videos moving forward, but this will be the very final garden update that is an exclusive garden video. Thanks everybody so much for watching, and I hope you have a great week.